What is going on, faithful? It is your boy, Niner Sickness with the Niner Sickness podcast. I have a great guest today. We're going to talk 49er Viking football pregame discussion. We're going to talk to a Viking fan that knows his Vikings. He's a diehard Vikings. We're going to get the insight on how the Vikings are doing. We're going to get perspective on how their team is doing in spite of their record. By the way, they're 5-5, just like the Niners. This is going to be a great matchup, a matchup to see who gets into the playoffs. Can they get into the playoffs, both of them or one of them? Who is fighting for that spot? We're going to talk about that. But before I go in there, let me go ahead and acknowledge the faithful. Kendrick, how you doing, sir? Welcome, Worth Karthik. How you doing, sir? Welcome. CJ Ruthless Sports, welcome. 49er Minded, welcome, sir. Kathy Sanchez, welcome to the Niner Sickness podcast. How you doing? Says, Beto, I'm going to a friend's place, so I might need to end early. No worries, brother. The fact that you're tuning in the day before Thanksgiving, I truly appreciate your support to the podcast, brother. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Dawn's in the house. How you doing, Dawn? Tell my two favorite girls, Jayla and Ariel, that Uncle Niner Sickness says hello. So before we get started, you know me. You know my motto. Please wipe your feet before entering and smash that like button. Wipe your feet before entering and smash that like button. So the guest that I have today is a special guest. He's a friend of mine. I've known him for a long time on the internet, never met him, never had the pleasure to meet him in person. Hopefully one day we will. But great guy. The guy knows his football. He knows his team. And with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the man of the hour. For we know you guys did not come to see me. You guys came to see my guest. With no further ado, what's up, Rob? Or we like to call him Sir Rocker. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, Niner. I'm doing awesome. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, brother. I'm doing great. So our teams are 5-5. Who would have thunk you, right?
I know it's not. It's not the way I envisioned the season going at all. Especially with all the moves we made through both the draft and free agency. And it's not just that. It's the way we've lost and the way we've won. And it's kind of like I've been telling a lot of people, except for one game, we had one win where we kneeled down. That was 2 weeks ago now against the Chargers. Otherwise, every single loss and every single win has been on a last second play, 3 overtime games so far through 10 weeks. It's been just one of the nuttiest, most unpredictable, insane years that I've ever seen out of this team. And I've been watching them for 40 years. So it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, I hear you. It's been up and down for us as well. We had some we started the season pretty tough. We won our first 2 games and then we lost 4 in a row. And the motto was that we haven't won a game at home. And then we had to face the LA Rams, which is a very good team at home. Where like at this point, we had just lost the week before and we got destroyed by a JV Cardinals team that were playing all their backups. And yet we got destroyed by their backups. And it was an embarrassment to the 49ers. It was an embarrassment to the fan base. And a lot of fan base, including myself, were like, man, our season's over. Forget about the playoffs. But listen, the team got together, did whatever they had to do, man, and they refocused, including the coaches, and they came out on Monday night and destroyed the Rams 31-10. And then we went and played the Jaguars just this Sunday. And even though they're not a good team, but you're supposed to beat a bad team badly. And the Niners did that. You're supposed to go in there and take care of a bad team and make sure that bad team never has any type of prayer of being in the game. And the Niners did that. They ran the first possession, brother. They ran it for 13 minutes and 5 seconds.
That's a
Okay.
nice long sustained drive right there.
Yeah. So it's the longest that it's ever done since 2000. So if I think we would have ran it for a few more seconds, it would have been like the NFL record of a drive. And two of them were caused by penalties on the defense of the Jaguars. But nevertheless, when you have an offense doing good, you don't want to give them opportunities. So, but that is the
For sure.
Jaguars. We're not going to talk about them. Um, before I ask you anything about your Vikings, let me go ahead and keep walking in my team, walking in. Austin Blackwood, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. Happy holidays. And everyone, before we proceed, happy Thanksgiving weekend. Everyone, I pray that you guys will have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family, your friends, whoever it is that you're going to share this Thanksgiving. I pray that you will have the best Thanksgiving ever. Life might have not been kind to you this year. You might have gone through some rough patches, but you know what? Here we are. We're still alive, and we're about to face Thanksgiving tomorrow. So I'm pretty sure there's always something that we can be grateful for in our lives. So I just want to thank everyone for popping in and showing your dedication. So moving forward, let me ask you, Rob,
Yep.
your Vikings. They're 5-5. You guys just beat the Packers at home on a pretty good game, I may add. And congratulations on that win. I honestly wanted you guys to lose because of the record of for that playoff. I'm not gonna lie,
Right.
but it was kind of hard because I don't like the Packers. See, I don't dislike the Vikings. I really have nothing against the Vikings. The Packers get on, all that bad man stuff, and I'm preaching to the choir, right? Because
Oh yeah.
you hear this all the time from Packer fans. Oh, Aaron Rodgers this and Aaron Rodgers that. It's like enough with it. So you guys beating the bad man it was pretty intense. So
We beat them two
congratulations on
games
that
in a
win.
row as well.
What was that?
Yeah, we beat them two games in a row as well. The last year, even when our team was really really bad with that decimated and gutted defense, we went into Lambeau last year, and Dalvin Cook was actually the star of that show, and over 200 all-purpose yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. Now last week, I was at that game, and yeah, it came down to last second field goal again, but Justin Jefferson absolutely killed Eric Stokes and every other defensive back they tried to put on him. Justin Jefferson, 169 yards of receiving and 2 touchdowns on what was the Packers' number 3 ranked defense coming into that game in the entire league as well. And yeah, they were missing their top corner, but you know, yeah, it's we've come off a couple good wins. It's been a little bit frustrating. I we needed to win that, and it's everybody's got injuries, and we'll hit on that here coming up pretty soon because you're really going to like what you see on our defensive line right now. We have every single starter out for this game. Just for instance, but you got to be able to have the next man step up. I know it's cliche, and whatever. But these Packer fans, and they're like, all we could go in there shorthanded and we can beat you and everything because Rodgers is the bad man and we got him back. Well, okay, you know. And then if it's not injuries, then they're blaming the refs on a couple calls in that play, and it's just pretty comical. And that's what you get with a lot of the casual fans that want to talk real loud, but you get some of the educated ones, they don't talk so loud, because they understand the nuances of the game and everything that has to happen on all three phases of the game on offense, defense, and special teams in order to get a W or to take an L. Basically, it's not just about one guy. Yeah, your quarterback is an extremely important part of that, but it takes all three phases of the game, and then sometimes it takes luck too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So, well, congratulations on that win,
thank you.
Rob. Much needed win for you guys against them and give them that out. Moses Martinez, how you doing, sir? He has a question for you. He says, Sir Walker, any word on Everson Griffin? Is he going to get the help that he needs?
Yes, sir. That situation has been resolved. Everson Griffin is actually at a healthcare facility right now with his family. There was no injuries. There was nothing going on in terms of that kind of stuff. This happened about 3 years ago too. He had a mental health crisis basically, and it was almost identical to what this was. It's and I mean the team can't like release anything about it because that's a HIPAA violation, but what it appears to be is like an episode of some random like schizophrenia type of thing. Thinks that people are trying to come and kill him or hurt him and stuff, and it's unfortunate. Usually people can live a very normal life with that as long as they're properly medicated, but we don't know what's going on, and they can't release health things. If I had to take a guess, as somebody that deals with people with a lot of PTSD and or PTSD and different issues, just related to multiple tours in combat and stuff like that. If they try to alter dosages of medication or they try to change to a different like brand or type of medication, sometimes people don't react well to that. And so we don't know. Everson is in our thoughts and our prayers. His likelihood of playing this weekend, they haven't said anything, but it's pretty much zero, as is the rest of our entire starting defensive line. So but that's a good question. Thanks for asking that. Yes, this afternoon it did get resolved. Everson's in a healthcare facility right now. He's secure. He's safe. His family's safe. They're with him. And, prayers to them on Thanksgiving Eve, basically. So thank you.
Absolutely. Prayers definitely to him and his family. Seizure Ruthless Sports wants to kind of get a little bit of an update on your linebacker, Kendricks. How's he doing this year?
Kendricks has been an absolute beast like he always is. In my opinion, he's one of the best middle linebackers in the league. The past couple of years, I would say, in terms of passes defensed, I think he led the league. Not last year, he missed a bunch of games because he again was one of our many injuries toward the end of the year. But year before, I mean, just had the most passes defense. I mean, tackles were right up there, but just his speed, sideline to sideline, uh, both in the passing game when he's got to drop back into coverage, he's phenomenal, the best in the game, in my opinion. And then his sideline to sideline ability to get down, make plays in the backfield, in both the run game and screen pass game on running backs and tight ends and wide receivers that get thrown a lateral and then want to miss that first corner and everything when they're trying to run a go route or whatnot. I mean, the guy's been a beast. Um, he plays better when you have a fully healthy Anthony Barr next to him. Barr, in my opinion, has not impressed me at all this year. Um, I think he's getting worse, to be honest, and he is having some nagging injury issues too. He's not at 100%. Um, and with having basically all backups on the defensive line this week, I don't know what you're going to see this week. If a play is in the vicinity of Kendricks, he's probably the one guy in the front seven that I can guarantee you will make it. The rest of it's kind of a wild card right now. We lost Daniil Hunter for the entire year on IR, torn pectoral muscle. Uh, the big beast up in the middle, the nose tackle, Michael Pierce, has an elbow thing. He's been out for several games now. We're hoping we can get him back, especially if we can continue to win games and be able to, at least get in the playoffs. That would be nice. Dalvin Tomlinson, another great pickup that we got, was filling in very nicely for Michael Pierce, and now he got COVID. And then, of course, this situation that blew up overnight with Everson Griffin. So, what I can tell you, what are you going to look at? If you're not familiar with the Minnesota Vikings, our base defense is the nickel defense, which means that we run two linebackers and we run a nickel corner. So we have three cornerbacks on the field and two linebackers primarily. We run about 80% of our snaps out of that. What you can expect to see out of the Vikings defense is you're probably going to see DJ Wanham is going to be starting at one defensive end, and it'll be a mixture of Sheldon Richardson and Armon Watts between the nose tackle and the three technique. And to be honest, I do not have a good answer for you at left defensive end. It's it'll be situational, it'll be rotational. They did pick up a guy off New England's practice squad that played for us so last year, Tayshawn Bowers, and we've got Lynch and a couple other guys in there that can go with that other defensive end position. We had been using Sheldon Richardson there for a while. Now he's going to have to move over and rotate in the center. And of course, you'll have Kendricks and Barr at your linebacker position. But in terms of you guys' running game, Minnesota this week, definitely vulnerable. This is not the same defense that you guys saw the last time that we played. And you guys beat us in the playoffs. So, we can get into this later. But
I'm sorry, this defense now you're saying is better or worse than there was?
What's that, Niner?
I'm sorry, the defense that we're facing Sunday, is it?
Oh, much worse.
Okay. You're breaking up, by the way.
Oh, much worse. Okay. Much worse.
Much worse?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's much worse. This is nowhere close to that defense we had a couple years ago.
So how's your run?
The funny thing about there's a delay.
Yeah, there is a delay. Apologize for that to the viewers. There's a little bit of delay. Can you hear me now? Clear?
Yeah, I can hear you now. The run defense has been bad all year, and I don't have a good explanation for it. Basically, it's funny because this defense, it's ranked number 28th right now, but still tied for the league lead with the Chicago Bears for sacks at 31 sacks. So that means people are getting a lot of yards on the ground, and the team is just we've had a lead in every single game, and we let people back in the fourth quarter. So even if we end up building up a lead and we have a couple because we will score points. That's the other side of this spectrum. This is the number 7th offense. It's playing like they're the number 1 offense right now. We can score points on any defense out there, and I'm not being cocky. We can and we have, and we've proved it. You know, this offense will score points. Our Achilles heel, our weak point is definitely that defense, and specifically that run defense. You guys will definitely. I mean, I think Jimmy G can get some yards in the air, provided that he's under center and doing good and whatever. Your running backs, and I don't even care who it is, they'll do well. So,
yeah, these last 2 games, Rob, we got back to what works. We kind of got away from our running game. We got away from our running game. We didn't focus on the running game. We were trying to pass too much, and Kyle Shanahan decided to get back to what works, to the meat and potatoes, which is the run game. And we, like I said, against the Rams, we had a 11-minute drive. Against the Jaguars, we had a 13-minute drive. And we're going to continue to try to pound the ball against the Vikings until the Vikings can stop it. If they can stop it, we're going to do what we do. The run game opens up the play pass for the Niners, and it allows Jimmy to get comfortable in what he does. You don't want to put the ball completely on Jimmy's hands. You want Jimmy to be a complement to the offense and not be the one leading the offense. I was looking at PFF, and Justin Jefferson had an 81.9 grade, and Adam Thielen had a 78.5, which is pretty good. I mean, even Christian had a 73. So your offense is definitely, like you say, you're scoring points. You're definitely scoring points, but I guess your defense is not stopping other teams from doing the same, correct?
Yeah, well, and the thing of it is, on several of these games, and this is why our fan base is irritated with Mike Zimmer as a coach. Granted, he's more of the defensive caller, and Clint Kubiak is the offensive coach. But they get like a 10-point lead, and they take their foot off the gas and let teams hang around instead of going for the jugular every time. Now, the past 2 games, we picked up a very quality win on the road in L.A. against the Chargers. And then we picked up a quality win against, a Green Bay Packer team that at that point in time was 8-2. And it's because we kept going for it. We didn't take the foot off the gas in the passing game. This probably is the best offense that I've seen since the 98 team. And there's been a couple exceptions in there. Culpepper's had a couple good years, but with just a combination with everything we have, and we've been missing our number 1 tight end all year long. Irv Smith Jr. never made it out of training camp. he ended up with a torn ACL or something. So Tyler Conklin, our other tight end, has been the starter all year, but then KJ Osborne emerged as a good wide receiver 3, and you have a two-headed beast at running back with Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison. Both can run like a freight train, and both are very effective in the passing game as well, with screen passes and running into the flat and catching, short passes over the middle. They're not afraid to get hit. Thielen's not afraid to get hit. Conklin sure isn't. In fact, he looks for it because he likes to demolish people when he's getting extra yardage. This is a very potent offense. And our offensive line, now, I told you our defense is way, way, way worse than the last time that you guys seen us. Our offense is improved because our offensive line, the biggest thing is moving Oli Udo to the starting right guard position. Absolute correct move. And we have Wyatt Davis, our draft pick, that we drafted this year in the later rounds, third round, I believe it was, sitting behind him. But Christian Darrisaw, starting left tackle. And I've had the pleasure of making friends with his dad, and his dad's been tailgating. I've been up to 4 games now this year. His dad's been in the tailgate lot with the Viking World Order fan club with my guys. Every week, he's come to our suppers, our meet and greet suppers the night before, and I've had a lot of talks with Darisaw's dad, Jay, about the kid's progress. And, ever since he got into that role, he has seized it, he has owned it, and he has just played lights out. I mean, that is one reason why Kirk Cousins has 21 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and leads the league in that touchdown-interception ratio, that differential right now. So very pleased with the way that offense is humming along. It's just, every game that we get in is a shootout because our defense is, it gets into the fourth quarter. They can't stop anybody, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's the thing that it kind of concerns me a little bit. Going into this game, that we're not the type of team to go into shootouts. We have 2 good receivers, up and coming receivers, and Deebo Samuel. We've been utilizing him a lot as a running back, and he's been great. Matter of fact, against the Jaguars, he led the rushing attack. This is a receiver that had 79 yards rushing. He can do it all. He's like your Pat Patterson, if you will. And then we have Brandon Ayuk, who's becoming his own man. We have George Kittle, but we're still, I'm wearing his jersey, Garoppolo, but, we have a young kid in the wings by the name of Trey Lance, which I don't really feel that he's going to get a start, truthfully, this year. So do I want to get into a shootout with the Vikings? Probably not. So my hope is that we can continue to run the ball successfully, chew time off the clock. And the best way to beat Kirk Cousins, the best way to beat opponent offense like yours is to keep them on the sideline for the majority of the time. If we can do that, we'll be successful. I don't want to get into a shootout. I want to be able to control the clock and run the ball on your team, because if we get into a shootout, it favors you guys in this game than us.
Yeah. And that's basically what we've done a couple times against good teams. And the bad thing of it is, and to be honest, I'm hoping that it's not Trey Lance, because here's a little bit of trivia. I don't think Mike Zimmer has ever won a game the first time he's ever seen a head coach he's never faced, or B, a quarterback he's never faced. I'll reference the Dallas game a couple weeks ago. I was there too. Everybody's like, oh, Dak Prescott's out, Cooper Rush is in, Vikings are going to win. I said, you just watch. I said, I almost guarantee the Cowboys are going to end up finding a way to win this, because Zimmer can't beat backup quarterbacks. He can't beat new quarterbacks, and he can't beat a head coach he's never seen. So he's seen your coach, and he's seen Jimmy G. If you guys put Trey Lance in for whatever reason, I feel like we're doomed. But no, there's a lot of truth to that. Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Don't put the ball in the hands of those playmakers. I have Brandon Ayuk on my fantasy team. I've had him for 2 years now. I had him last year and this year. What's up with the consistency on him? Because sometimes he just goes off, and then sometimes he has like 2 catches. Is it the game plan, or are you guys just running it more now, or what?
No, he was in Kyle Shanahan's doghouse. And one thing about Kyle Shanahan, if you get in his doghouse, you're not going to get the ball. He's just not going to give you the ball. And whatever issues they had, off the field, they worked it out. They seem to smashed it, and now publicly, you came on publicly and said, you know what, he admitted what he was doing wrong, and Kyle's giving him another chance. In these last 3 games, you can see the elevation of his play. So now we have the Brandon Ayuk. So if you have him on your fantasy team, I don't know where you're at record-wise, but he's going to play good for you for the rest of the season. He started slow only because he wasn't getting touches. He was on the field. He just wasn't getting the ball. Now he's getting the ball quite a bit, and I expect him to continue to get that ball. So he's going to be very effective going forward. I don't know how many more games you have left until your championship, but he's definitely going to have more touches than he did. But that's what it was. He was in the doghouse for some reason or another. We don't know, understand. It's a head scratcher for us Niner fans. But he seems to figure it out. Whatever it was taken care of, was resolved, because now we're seeing him be the Brandon Ayuk that we all loved and drafted. So get ready for a great ending season with him. He's going to do great for your fantasy team, brother. I know he gave you a lot of points this game.
Yeah, I've got him in. I've got him going. I've got him going this week.
Did you start him Did you start him this week?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good for you. How many points did he give you? Do you remember?
I want to say in my leagues are all on the ESPN app. I wanted to say it was like 13 or 16. I can't remember.
Yeah, because it was good. He had a touchdown and 85 yards, I believe.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 13 points. It was good. It was double digits. You always want to get those double digits and stuff like that. So yeah.
And now that they're using Debo more as a running back, they're going to start using Brandon Ayuk more as that number 1 receiver. So Brandon Ayuk could be that number 1 receiver right now, since we're using Debo, our number 1, as a running back to enforce that running game.
Right.
And we do get back our Elijah Mitchell, though. We didn't have him last week against the Jags. He was hurt. He's back and healthy. He should be ready to go against the Vikings. This guy can run very well. He's a 6th-round rookie that we picked up this year, and this guy's tearing it up. Pretty good. So it's going to be one thing about the Niners defense. We play the wide 9, which I never liked, but we don't have the D tackles that we had in 2019, and that running down the middle is a possibility for you guys, especially with Dalvin Cook doing what he's doing. So the Niners really have to find a way how to stop the running game of the Vikings. So much more than the passing game. Listen, the passing game for you guys is no joke with Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. By the way, Justin Jefferson, man, I hate when teams do it, but I also love it when they do it. Is you guys lost a receiver in Stephon Diggs to the Buffalo Bills, but then you guys picked up Jefferson, and it's like that transition to me is like so smooth. It's like with Jefferson playing the way he's playing, do you guys even miss Stephon Diggs? Probably not, right?
To be honest, this is how I answer this question, because I get asked this a lot. It's like, but do you miss Diggs? No, I don't miss him. I don't miss him at all. I don't miss his diva attitude and everything else. But I'm thankful for all the good things that he gave us. I mean, we'll always love the Minneapolis Miracle play, and I mean, he gave me a lot of years of a lot of good times to root for, and a lot of fun watching him. But like you said, it was almost seamless bringing in Justin Jefferson, and now Justin Jefferson and out there breaking records, and I mean, just a beast. I'll never compare anybody to Randy Moss, because there'll never be another Randy Moss, but he's he's a hybrid between what Moss and Carter was, I think, for sure, and is setting up, and nothing but love for Adam Thielen too, and I'll always love Adam Thielen. I mean, he's just, his attitude, his work ethic, how he came up as a walk-on and worked his way through the special teams ranks to finally earning a chance to start in a couple games and then becoming a damn good wide receiver, multiple seasons over 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns. I mean, that's just a story that people like to hear, and it's fun as a fan to watch that. But just picking up JJ and then just his field presence, his attitude. I know even though Jaire Alexander for the Green Bay Packers didn't play in that game due to injuries, Jaire was interviewed before that game, and he said, "I've been coaching the young kid," and he means Eric Stokes because Eric Stokes was covering their rookie corner had to cover or try to cover Justin Jefferson in that game. And he's like, "I'm telling you, young man, this is a guy that plays like a 6, 7 year veteran that's on his way to Hall of Fame. You better watch out." Well, as they say, he effed around and found out in that game. Justin had 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he went off on that team. So yeah, it's just they're fun to watch. And yeah, Cook and Madison coming out of the backfield. Zimmer just always tried to run the ball and just try to establish the run, and then things weren't going well. Now it seems like the past 2 games he's been coming out and going for the jugular right off the bat, early and often with the pass game. He's still going to want to run, and if Dalvin Cook's getting yards, they're going to start leaning on it. But Dalvin's already missed a game and some because of nagging injuries, and that's always been the knock on Dalvin Cook. He's not available every game. He's always missing time because he just runs so violently and he gets used so much. I mean, the amount of carries, holy crap. And I think they're realizing, hey, we have all this other stuff on our offense we can use. It's not a bad thing to throw the pass down the field, get a first down or get a touchdown. This is 2021. This isn't, 1952. So, I mean, the forward pass has been invented for a reason. And I was so irritated all year and everything. I was like, you know what? Mike Zimmer and Gary Kubiak, this offense is a 900 horsepower supercharged Ferrari, and they're driving around 35 mile an hour on a Sunday afternoon. Get on the gas. I mean, I literally in the stands, I've been to 4 games this year. It's probably about it, though. I don't know if I'm going to go up to any more because I live in central Iowa. It's 3.5, 4 hours up there every time I go to a game. And, with the holidays and everything else, I'm not sure if I will, but just in the stands screaming, watching the TV here at the house screaming on road games and stuff like that. It's like, stop with this conservative game plan. Your defense ain't going to stop anybody. You already know this. How many times do you have to lose, go into overtime and lose? How many times do you have to lose on the last play of the game? It's just irritating because these guys can get this done. And, I mean, it sounds like you understand exactly what's coming to town and what you got to do, what you guys have to do in order to play us. Most people are picking y'all to win. And I think that's fair. Our teams we're mismatched on offense and defense. You guys have a good defense. Your offense is down there a little ways, but I mean our defense is not good, but we have a incredibly good offense. And I think the two, it offsets, it kind of evens it out, and that's why they play the game. I believe you guys are 3-point favorites the last time I checked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fair, especially in your home stadium. I mean, you should be favored. And like I said, I don't care about records so much, except for when it's blatantly obvious, like, but even the Detroit Lions, I'm just putting this out there for an example, with the exception of like 2 games, they've been right in every single game that they've lost.
Yeah.
Right there. And so sometimes you look at them like, man, this team, it was like, what, 08-1 or 09-1 now or whatever. They really suck. Well, yeah, they barely lost every single game, just about in the same kind of fashion like Minnesota. So I look more at what's going on the offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball. Oh, and by the way, I'm an Iowa Hawkeye guy, but we got Iowa State sitting here only 20 minutes away from my house. And the running back that we drafted from there last year, Keenan Gwangwu, is a lightning rod. This is a 4.2 speed guy, and he's already run a kickoff back for a touchdown, and he's only been active for 3 weeks.
Wow.
So hopefully your special teams has their heads on a swivel. When they put him back there, if it's D.D. Westbrook, I don't need to worry about that so much. But if that youngster you never heard of, Keenan Wongwu out of Iowa State's back there. Your gunners and people better pay attention because this kid can flat out fly. He is the fastest player on the Vikings. He is faster than JJ. He is faster than KJ Osborne. He is faster than Dalvin Cook. This kid can literally turn on the burners and just take off and just get separation.
What we did
So
against the Jacks, Jaguars have a punt returner as well. Is just keeping the ball away from the playmaker or kicking the ball into the end zone, trying to keep the ball away because they are. You're right. He is explosive, and I seen him in the last game that I saw against the Packers.
yep.
He has come a long way. Real quick, we're gonna. I know that you have to go to your dad's house, and you have quite a bit of a drive, so I'm not gonna keep you long. But Moses had
I'm
a question.
seeing a question pop up here.
Yeah. He says he feels that the Niners can take away Cousins' first reads. He tends to get rattled. Do you think this is true, or if you take away his first read, does he get rattled? In your opinion?
If this was last year and the other 3 years with Cousins, I would say yes. And the reason for that would be Cousins never had time to pass. This year, he has been putting on a clinic on moving to different reads and so on and so forth. Yes, I mean, he still makes a mistake every now and then, but he's had more time this year than in a long time. If you look at the game footage, just don't watch the whole game, but you can find the clips on YouTube or even on Twitter, to be honest. Go back and just do a search on YouTube or on Twitter. Every pass Kirk Cousins threw against the Packers. The one that he threw where he just got buried, he was down in the red zone, and I mean, he got annihilated right as he was throwing the ball, but he looped a high one over where our tight end was coming all the way across the field and caught it in the back. And that play took like it felt like 5 or 6 seconds to develop. And that was to Tyler Conklin, our tight end. That was the very last read he had. He had went to Justin Jefferson, to Thielen, the running backs, everything else. That was his last lead, and he got that off for a touchdown when he was getting absolutely lit up. I mean, flat on his back, hit hard too. So, and I've seen quite a few plays like that this year where he's not being fazed by that. It's been a problem in the past, but he's largely gotten that straightened out. And I credit both him being more comfortable this year, but the reason why he's more comfortable is the offensive line and just the offensive line play in general. They're blocking. And then just the targets that we have, everybody's just been really good. Having KJ Osborne emerge as a wide receiver 3, he's got so many outlets that he can go to if things don't work right. And that's why you have a 21 touchdown, 2 interception differential. He's taken way less sacks than he's ever taken in his career. He's getting rid of the ball. He's making good reads through his progressions. And he's usually getting at least 6, 7, 8 people involved in the passing game, to include both of the running backs. So this guy's comment has been valid over the past seasons, but I've not seen that so much this year. Of all the reasons why Minnesota's in the predicament that they're in right now, in a must-win situation, Kirk Cousins is probably at the bottom of that list. Okay. And I haven't seen that with him not having his first. I mean, that's kind of like more of a Justin Fields, rookie kind of problem. And Cousins in the past, it seems like it's been that way because he's never had time to move to his second progression before he's getting put on his butt. And so far this year, he's had the time, and he's been doing a masterful job. If I tell you what, if you guys aren't getting to Cousins, he will cut things up because he's got a lot of weapons. They can get open, and he's been hitting them on the big passes downfield. I don't know how you guys are doing on the secondary on the big plays, but Kirk Cousins is since 2020, since the disaster game against the Atlanta Falcons in 2020, has absolutely led the league in big chunk yardage, big pass play. I'm talking 40-plus pass yard plays and 20-plus pass yard plays down the field. The downfield bombs, watch out for that, because with JJ, they're going to go. And if you got even 1 or 2 guys on him, we've seen it the last game, they're going to put it up there alongside the end zone. They're going to let JJ go up and get it. And you guys are going to have to figure out a way to stop that without drawing a PI or a defensive holding call of some sort. That's kind of my assessment on that. But yeah, it is getting later. So, but I've had a good time, and I appreciate you bringing me on, Niner.
No problem. And before I let you go, I want to get a bold prediction from you in this game. What are you? How do you think this game's going to turn out if it's played the way you think it will be?
Just because of the way that we play on the West Coast, and going to be an afternoon game as compared to the time zone that these guys are used to, and you guys do run the ball quite well. I feel like that has been our big weakness all year. I think you guys will win it by 3, and I think you'll win it in overtime by 3. I think we're going to play you hard because we have to get this win. I mean, are we out of the playoffs if we don't get this win? No. But compared to what's coming up with the Rams, because I think the Rams will kick our ass, I would like to say we could win this, but I got to go with what the experts are saying and say right now, I mean, if a person had a crystal ball, I'd pick you by 3. But I'm looking forward to a very hard hitting and a lot of points being scored. I mean, we all like to take pride that our defenses and everything. This is not going to be one of those games. There will be points scored, and I'm talking into the 20s, possibly pushing 30. And it's going to come down to the wire. I could see this going overtime, and then somebody winning it on a field goal. So,
yeah, it's going to be definitely close game. Don't be too afraid of those Rams, man. They're over populated. They're not as good as people think they are. You guys will be fine with the Rams, especially with your offensive weapons you have. You guys can definitely do a shootout. Even if Ramsey takes away one of your receivers, you still have another one. So don't worry about them. And then the best way to take away AD is by running the ball well. So,
yep.
All right, I'm gonna let you go, brother. I know that you have to go to your dad's house. Enjoy your Thanksgiving with your friends and family. I appreciate you tuning in. Before I let you go, I just want to let all my viewers know that I was invited to be on a Vikings page or Vikings YouTube channel today at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So all my faithful, if you want to show support and have the Niners show up to that Vikings YouTube, I'll put the link in the bottom of where I'm going to be on YouTube, and make sure to follow me. Today I'm going to be a guest on a Vikings YouTube channel at 6 p.m. as Rob was a guest on mine. So have fun, drive safely, Rob. Be with your family, and thank you for coming on, and good luck on Sunday.
Absolutely. Same to you. Have a very blessed Thanksgiving with you and your family, and God bless you, brother.
All right, brother. Everyone, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Until next time, we are out of here. All right, brother.